Okay, I think we're rolling. Gonna be a real quick live stream tonight. Saturday night, 7:45 here in Utah. Gonna be heading out in about half an hour, but made a little bit of progress earlier today. Figured I'd jump on here and code for about 20 minutes before we leave. So we've got the Tour Life menu pulled up here. Last stream we were working on settings, which is this. I don't think I changed anything from this. I believe all this was covered. We got the stroke advantage for the finale, finish score, points earned for every event. I do have this arena battle, which is going to be the match play event. Not going to be able to earn any points in that, so we'll make that an NA for not applicable. But we're going to try to put a solid dent in the schedule before we take off. I've already worked on this a little bit. So we've got our schedule view. This we built out in a previous live stream, just the view with schedule at the top. But now I'm adding the actual events. So the idea here is that we've got 13 events. Each one of them is going to have one of these panels. It's going to show the event title. Throwing presenting sponsors up just because I think maybe that'll be a neat idea in the future. Right now they're just all presented by Throw with the Pros, name of the app. And then we're including the tier below it. So kind of the same thing as building out everything else. I want all the information to be available, everything to work, and then my eventual thought is that I may make all of these actual graphics for each individual event. So they'll have their own graphics. I might just throw them up as a background at first. We'll see. I need to figure out what a cool way to do that is. But the idea is that these are going to be like posters. For every single event, it'll display the information. And then what I want to happen is for you to be able to click on it, and it pops up the courses that were played, and then a brief bit of information about the tournament if it's already been played. So that's what we're going to try to do right now. The other thing I want to be included in here is the location. So let's go make a variable for that. We've got event tiers. We've got event names. Let's leave that one up. Event locations. There we go. All right. Going to try to. Some of these are going to be similar to Pro Tour events. Obviously, we've got the World Championships, the US Open, Checkmate Challenge, a little homage to the chess.com tournament last year. I'm a big chess player as well. I actually played in that event this year. I went down and got my butt kicked, but I like the idea of including a chess-themed event. So, event locations. These don't need to be overly specific. Let's just call it Florida. Southern Heat. Let's throw that one in Texas. We'll give Texas a shout out. Victor's Invitational. I do think I had a note on this. Maybe I did. I may not have. Got Florida, Texas. We got the Pacific Shootouts. Let's make the Victor's Invitational. Do I want to throw it in Georgia? I don't really want to throw it in Georgia. You know what? I like Arkansas here. Victor's Invitational. Let's throw in Arizona. Southern Heat is maybe not the best name for this. Let's go Georgia. These are all subject to change. I'm just getting something in there right now. Pacific Shootout. Gotta go California. California has some really cool courses. European Open. I'm not throwing cities in. I feel like this should just be like Finland. Arena battle. So I kind of want this one to be in Europe as well. Let's go Ireland. Yeah, I like the idea of Ireland. Got a lot of golf courses in Ireland. Put a fun temp course. All fictional, of course, obviously. This is for the app. A High West Showdown. I want this one to be in Utah. Shout out to where I'm living. World Championships. Screw us, had a little bit of spit there. Let's go Michigan temporarily. Battle of the Plains is going to be Missouri. That's a little shout out to the home state. U.S. Open, we're going to go South Carolina. Forest Kickoff, let's go North Carolina. Let's go Virginia, actually. I've been liking what I've seen at the World's Footage this week. New London looks like a cool course. Big City Classic, New York. And then Tour Finale. Let's go Vermont. Seems like a fairly fluid. Obviously, California to Finland, Ireland to Utah is not really straightforward, but that's okay. Everything else flows decently. All right, those are going to be our events. Got our 13. Okay. Event locations, and we'll go back to schedule. I want presented by, and then I want the location above it. Yeah, I'm gonna need to do a refresh. Probably gonna need to buy that subscription again, so I can get back to the Tour Life view. I can do the year one too. Just doing the month one is easier. The year one will end up reviewing for or automatically renewing itself for hours, which I don't necessarily need, especially for a 20-minute stream. Tour Life. Go through the setup. So the setup, we went through the process. It is saving. What I haven't implemented into the app yet for the sake mostly of testing is actually reading those variables. So although I'm saving the Tour Life and just continuously resaving it every time I create a new tour season, I'm never actually reading those because I want to be able to test everything in the app multiple times. And if I'm reading it, then I have to go through the process of either hard resetting the app or going and deleting the tour season. Whereas instead, I could just not read the variables. And then I just need to test the actual reading of the variables once to make sure everything pulls through. But all right, we got our schedule. We've got the location. Obviously, this isn't overly clear. It all is shown kind of at the same font. Let's make the presented by, just to make this a little bit cleaner, TWTP for Throw with the Pros. Instead of that, so it just doesn't need to be as spelled out. We need 13. 1, 2. Okay. And that's not going to update until I reset the app, which is fine. Actually, if I go right here, it'll update. No, it won't. I need to reset the app. Okay. So we got the name, we got presented by, we got the location, we've got the tier. Our majors are in Arizona, Finland, Michigan, South Carolina. Yeah, that's not bad. Happy with that. And then obviously this is going to look quite a bit cooler. Excuse me, when we add the actual graphics in. I'm going to go, I want these to be a little bit wider. So let's come here, let's go 0.4 looks like a good height. Let's go 0.7. How's that? Is that better? I don't know. I think the issue I'm going to run into is with the graphics, keeping everything at the same scale. That's not bad though. I think that's a good start. Georgia's fine. Pro Tour. Maybe I could throw that like up in the top left. I kind of like that. Let's try this. I want tiers. Let's copy this, get rid of the extra line, and then up here above the event names, we're going to throw it. We're going to put it in a row. I want a size box. Well, no, I've already got the padding, so it might be fine without it. And we're going to throw a spacer here. Yeah, that's kind of what I had in mind. I wonder if we just throw up I was gonna say just throw up abbreviations, but then I think for playoff, maybe we just go PTM and then leave match play and those the same. Let's give it a try here. Event tiers, and then we'll go tiers abbreviated. And then we can copy these all in. That's fine. And then let's go PT. PT. Do this for all the Pro Tours. We'll make all the majors M's. Leave match play, and I think we leave playoff and finale. This is my thought. Event tiers abbreviated, and then let's do our hard reset. And we'll go through this again, see if that looks a little bit cleaner. Tour live, go through the setup, automatic, start season, schedule. Is that clear? We'll leave that as is for now. I can always just go change it back to the other variable if I need to. All right, now let's add the click and make it pop up. A line. Decorated box. So let's go refractor this. Let's wrap with the widget, and then I think this is gesture detector. I think that's what we're looking for. And let's go to the bottom of decorated box. Let's go on tap. Like that. I think that's how it's done. And then we want, let's go back to the standings view. And then we need the dialog. This is one of the more chaotic ones. Let's grab a different one actually. One that I don't have to do as much cleanup to. Purple. Yeah. Okay. We'll do the show dialog. Let's get rid of that. Throw constant in front of here so it gets rid of that little error. And then here we want show dialog. Most of this we're going to delete. Scrollable can be true. So this one on tab actually, so we do want this. We need a event pressed equals 0. And then here I can throw my set state. Event pressed equals event. Event details context. Event details set state. All right, and then this can be event names tour life presets dot event names. And then here we can use our new event pressed to track that. And I think we probably just start with that for the time being. This is the title. We've got content. Padding is good. I think we get rid of, well, let's leave this in. Then I'm going to want to show some set amount of information for every round. So where are we tracking the rounds? Season courses list, okay? For round equals 0. Round is less than tour life tournament variables dot season courses list. Whoa. Event pressed dot length. Yes. I think that's what I want. And we're going to leave that as is for now. Actions. Here we just need a dismiss. So give me this button and then get rid of it. Get rid of this one. I'm trying to just make sure I don't delete anything I need. I don't think we need a row. This should just be something that we can wrap in a center here. Elevated button on pressed. Nah, nope. And this just needs to dismiss the pop-up. Navigator dot pop event details context. Is that how I did that? Here we go. Not quite, but close. Of event details context. Okay. And then this can just say dismiss. If I format this, it's going to kick that back out, isn't it? No, it didn't. Okay. It kicked this out, which is silly. I don't know why that's a common formatting thing, but all right, dismiss. So now this should all work properly. It's going to do it again. I don't even know why I bother. What is, like, how is this an easy for loop to read? What do I need to do so that it doesn't format it like that? I don't know. Let's just try it. Let's just try it. Yeah. So that works. Can't click outside of it, but the second you click in it, we've got our list. Okay. So that works. Pacific Shootout. Do I still want presented by and location? I don't think so. I don't think so. We want to display round information. created something. Here we go. Tournament scores for standings. What am I, when I start the season, what am I filling that variable with? TBD. Perfect. So I just need to check if that is TBD or not. That's easy enough. Get rid of this garbage so I can understand what the heck I'm looking at. We will probably call it once I get this working. All right, here we go. So for each round, I want a text. Let's go here. We're going to go if Tour Life tournament variables, tournament scores list for standings, event press, event pressed and player, whatever player that's going to be. We can just go 0, I think, is equal to TBD. We'll run this set code. Well, actually, it's going to say TBD either way, so I don't even need this. We can just throw it up there. So give me this back. Text. Format, please. Garbage. I just don't do this. This is terrible. This is not fun to look at. Isn't one line so much cleaner? Like, it's so easy to see what this one line is doing. I need to stop complaining about it and just actually look up how to fix it to where it doesn't do that. I'm sure it's something I can disable. Tour Life tournament variables. Tournament scores list for standings. Event pressed. I see the issue I'm going to run into here. That's going to only, that's not going to tell me, because what I want to show is I want to show the top 3 finishers for each tournament and their score. But that variable is set up just to show it for the players list in the standings, not necessarily to immediately pull the top 3. I could track it in another variable, but I could also just create a function to do it within this. All right, return. List string, return top 3 finishers. Event. Finishers equals. Oh. Yeah, that's one too many. This just needs to be string. Okay. And then I need to get rid of all the pluses and minuses. 4. equals 0. Player has less than 2 or life. Presets. Player. So we're going to run through each of the players. I already have code removing pluses. Minuses are easy. And I want to say that's in one of these courses ones. Let's go look. Here we go. Just replace all. Yeah, okay. Let's go var scores list is equal to tour life tournament variables dot tournament scores list for standings event pressed. Just event. And then we need this to be a list of strings, right? That throws it in an array. Tournament list for standings is a 2D array. So that should be fine. That should be a single array ordered by player, and then we need to go through the lowest ones. And then we need to assume that the players list for standings is ordered the same way, which is why I created this. So that should be fine. Okay. So first we're going to go scores list dot replace all. Isn't defined for the type of list. Player. Okay, so we're replacing all. And then if int dot try parse. I kind of want to go to from the bottom to the top here. Let's go players equal to tour life presets dot total number of players minus 1. Players greater than or equal to 0. And then player minus minus. So we're going to first go through and remove any pluses. So at this point it's either a negative number, which we can turn into an integer. It's a positive number with no plus, and we can turn it into an integer, or it's even, which is what this statement's going to be for. If try parse scores list player is greater than 0. This should actually be better than that. Negative 500. Because it could shoot a negative number. Is less than negative 499. That's, we can either go one more here just to be really safe. So basically, if this is true, it's going to tell us that it's par. Finisher string. So if it's equal to even, player is equal to 0. So now we should have a bunch of integers. Everything can be an integer. what's the right way to go about this? I want to just basically go through and build out the top 3 finishers and return that in an array. So it can be first, second, or third, or it's not excluded, not included. If scores list. There we go. We'll go int try parse. Let's not even go try parse. Let's go parse, because at this point it should be an integer or parsable into an integer, and if it's not, I kind of want it to kick an error, because then I've done something wrong. Int parse scores list player is less than var lowest scores equals int var players list equals string. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine those into that finishers array at the end. That should work fine. If scores list player is less than lowest scores 0, then I want, so here I'm saying if the score of that player is lower than the current lowest score I've found, then that needs to be the new lowest score. So then lowest score 0 needs to be equal to it's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough. Okay. That's fine, that's what those need to be. Alright, so lowest scores 2 needs to be equal to lowest scores 1. Lowest scores 1 needs to be equal to lowest scores 0. And then lowest scores 0 needs to be equal to int parse scores list player. So the score should update properly there, and then we need the players to update properly. So then players list 2 is equal to players list 1. This is not the smoothest way to do this, I'm sure. 0. And players list 0 is equal to tour life tournament variables. Players list for standings player. Because the scores list should be in the same order. So scores list for that player should match this. And so here I'm collecting player name and what their score was and updating accordingly. Else if int parse scores list player is less than lowest scores 1. And then here we're basically doing the same thing, just with 2 less lines of code. Two is equal to 1, 1 is equal to this, and then 2 is equal to 1, 1 is equal to this. Else if int parse scores list player, so this will be if they're in 3rd place, is less than lowest scores 2. And we just got one of each. 2 is equal to that. 1 is equal to that. Do need the caveat here. If Tour Life tournament variables, tournament scores list for standings event 0 is equal to TBD, then none of this can run. Actually, this can just be not equal to TBD. And then this can go inside of that. So if it is equal to TBD, meaning that the tournament hasn't been played yet, then it'll skip all of that code. And then we can go finishers 0 is equal to players list 0 lowest scores 0. Oh, and then but I need to add, man, and to then add the pluses and minuses at the end. That's annoying. Okay, so then we go here. This needs to go in this loop for var spot equals 0. Spot is less than players list dot length. If lowest scores spot is greater than 0. Lowest scores is an integer right now, though. Should it just be a string? String is equal to, and then this could just be int. Yeah. And lowest scores is just going to be equal to this. Don't need to parse it. And parse. And same thing here. Okay, so now the scores are fine. They're just a string. So if int.parse lowest scores is greater than 0, lowest scores spot is equal to plus lowest scores spot. So we're just adding the plus there. Else if int parse lowest scores spot. So here we're going to check if it's 0 and then make that say even. It's equal to 0. Lowest scores is equal to even. And we don't need to do anything if it's negative. So those are fine. And then this should work. So now here we should already have the plus, minus, or even in the player name. And then we can just do this 2 more times. And make this 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And this is going to be a tough one to test. I won't really be able to go through until I'm able to play a full event in Tour Life, which I can't quite do at the moment. Haven't added that in. But that's what we'll want to include there. Scores list. Okay, so this is where I am returning that. So let's go here. Let's go our top 3 finishers equals string okay, and then on tap, excuse me, top 3 finishers equal to return top 3 finishers event. And then here for each. So I wanted to show it for the course, and then below that I wanted to show it for the round. So underneath this for loop, we'll go here. And we'll go for var place equals 0, place is less than 2, or place is less than 3, 0, 2, place plus plus. Let's just call this top 3 top length. Yeah, that's good enough. And then we'll throw this in here. This is maybe not very clear. This will hopefully be more obvious in a second. Season courses list. Event pressed round. Try that. And then here, comma, this text can say top 3 finishers place. And let's give that a shot. So my hope is that they'll just all say TBD right now. This actually should just go in here. And I should just put another else if, or just else. Let's redo this here. Finishers. And then else. Finisher 0 should equal TBD. Actually, I don't even need to do this. I can just make them TBD. And if it's not TBD, it'll update it. Yeah. That should fix that issue. Let's do another restart. Gotta redo the subscription. Must be going a little longer than I intended. Subscribe. Tour Life. Start the season. Yeah, so we did automatic, so we're getting the random courses that were selected, which looks decently random, so that's good. And then it is just showing TBD. Actually, I want this to show first place. Yeah. Ah. Let's just go. Let's do this. Placement titles. Yeah, that looks better. Sized box, height. Just go 10. Give me a little bit of space there. Yeah. Looks pretty good. Looks like rounds are pulling through. Majors should be 5, Pro Tours 3, Playoffs 3, yeah. And we've got TBDs. Like it. Okay. Well, that's pretty decent. Was there anything else quick I was wanting to get in there? I don't think so. I think that's probably it. I think we're gonna call it there. We got the schedule going, we got some updated info, we've got the pop-up screen. And so then the idea is that after the tournament's shown, you can go click on it from the schedule, see a quick recap. Let's set it presented by under there too. Just because I want it to be. It's presented by me right now. Open in a column. Go away. And then format that. Yeah. Presented by. Cool. We are probably the next and biggest thing is getting tournaments available for Play-In Tour Life and getting those used to work accordingly so that we can quickly test this. And then at that point, it's probably graphics time. Start making everything look real cool. That is going to be the goal. What was my issue with? Oh, it was this popping back to the main menu, but I need to test that on the splash screen. Because in reality, this should also pop to the main menu. But we may need a splash screen for that. All right. Done. I'm going to call it there for the evening. Probably we'll be back at some point tomorrow. Maybe start building out some more tour life. We'll see. But yeah, getting down to the wire here. We got just a little over a month till app release. Still a decent bit to do. So, oh well. Maybe we'll